I remember those days. And like I say, you could go back, you could raise a family, your kids, and then they could find a job, and then they could stay here, and then their kids. It was that type of thing, you know. That's what communities used to be like. In fact, back in the 60s and late 50s, if you'd get a job, you had one thing. You may not have a union, but you'd have a vacation, and you'd have some kind of a pension and some kind of health care. It just came. It might not have been the best, but it was there. There was no such thing as, you know, temp services and all that stuff. It's a whole different world back then. Some things were better and some things weren't so good, but like I said, I feel like a dinosaur. Well, it did. I mean, we had all these old mansions. Fifth Avenue South at one time had more millionaires, they say, than any city in the country, because they were all lumber barons and these factories owners. Hell, they even had a fly-swatter company here that the fly-swatters were all over the country, and it just you'd go to other towns, you'd see something that was made in Clinton, Iowa. It was just unique. It just a lot of manufacturing jobs. It was a pretty good town. I mean, you could raise your family here, and there was a lot of manufacturing plants. You could get a job here, and the population, I think, probably up around 34,000 or something. It was a robust community. It had a lot of things going. Certainly, I mean, just everything was on the upswing. I mean, there was a lot of construction going on, and it was a good time for Clinton. I mean, there was little things that factories that closed now and then, but it was just that time of the smokestack industries. They were right on the cusp of prosperity. I mean, we had our problems, but I mean, there was, like I said, there was always, everybody wanted to either work at Clinton Corn or DuPont, because they were the two highest paying places in town besides the Chicago Northwestern Railroad shops. But see, they're all gone now, these factories, so that kind of put us in the tailspin economically. The good paying jobs are just not there. They were there.
It was really a good community, and everybody pulled together, and in the company and the union always seemed to get along. I mean, there are always differences and there are always short strikes, but nothing major. And it was a really good community, but after that, it was very, very, very bitter. For at least 10 years after that, it was very bitter. And a lot of hard feelings.
It's great. The 70s were pretty good there for a while, and then all of a sudden 78, 79 came along, and boy, it went into the tank. And you know, I think Clinton in 4 or 5 years lost close to 10,000 people, or 5,000 or 6,000 people anyway, too. I think our population now is 26. Before 75, we were probably around 35, 34. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people to lose. So.
And it had a detrimental effect on the city. It did, and it lasted a long time. It just gave us kind of a bad name, and it was a stigma that it was probably an unwarranted stigma, but it didn't go away for a while.
Yeah, you could see the quality of life was going down because there wasn't as much money being earned. There wasn't as much taxes being paid. There wasn't a lot of new business coming in. At that point, maybe because of the strike and the issues around it. For the last 20 years, though, I think the city of Clinton has done that to himself, whether it be in the leadership or the community itself.
Sure.
But
Created a situation where people took sides. They did happen. And I don't think those feelings went away afterwards either.
Things that happened after the strike and because of the strike and during the strike, it never went away. You know, I'm been what, 37 years, and I'm still mad. That's one of the reasons I came. I thought maybe I'd quit being mad. I mean, that was one of my thoughts. I thought maybe it was time to actually just get it over with. But I still see people walk down the street, and I'd rather spit at them than talk to them. Some of them are my relatives. You know, it broke up families, it broke up relations, broke up the city.
I don't think we've recovered yet to this day. To this day, this community is still recovering. We have not ever climbed back up to the top.
It lost a lot of its cultural identity, I think, in those days. But now some of that seems to be coming back because I think they can see what they can do with some of these. I was glad to see that Roosevelt School down there get fixed up. My grandfather was the first class that graduated there, and there's a history sense of it for me to see that thing stay there and redevelop. And I think they're just now realizing that you can redevelop these old buildings. I mean, the classical architecture never goes out of style. You never get tired of looking at it.
But Clinton's a good town.